and happy Thursday. In fact, happy St. Patrick's Day to wherever you are joining us from. Today is a big day as always. I know Greg has some great tech news to share with us. I've got some financial news to share with you, business finance, of course. And you're here as part of today's conversation. So we're grateful to have you join us today. We always love the positivity and the way you engage with us. It means so much to us. A big welcome to In the Loop with Winnie and Greg. And I am Winnie's son, longtime financial pro, CNBC council member, Forbes contributor, and all that good stuff. And I am here, of course, with the one and only, my go-to for all things tech and happiness, Greg. How are you, Greg?
I'm doing great. Hello, Winnie. And hello, everybody who's joining in wherever you are. It is so good to be here with all of you. I'm Greg Nibbler. If you don't know who I am, tech journalist, longtime reporter in that field and many others. But today I'll be talking about a few different kind of cool things in tech that'll tie into a little bit of a theme today. But it is St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. Cheers if you are already done with work here in the afternoon. But it's so great to be here and keep on dropping in comments throughout the show. So if this is your first time, we are live. We can take your comments, your questions, whatever you want to talk about. Drop those in there and let us know, because we are here to have a little bit of fun today. Kind of take it easy, talk about some different things, be informed about some different news topics, but also to have some fun discussions as well. So let us know what your comments are. But we always start off with Winnie letting us know what is going on in the world of finances. And I feel like it has never been crazier than it is right now, but I'm probably wrong on that. But just from my gleaning of information, it seems like there is a lot going on that we should be aware of.
There's always a lot going on, Greg, and I want to say a quick hello. I see so many of our friends joining us. Alicia on YouTube Live says, great to have you here. Joshua, CrossX Fighter on YouTube Live, thank you so much for joining us. Curious, Greg and everybody who's here with us, do you guys do anything special for St. Patty's Day?
So I used to, the last 2 years for me, it's just been kind of, during COVID, it's hanging out at home. And the last 2 years, I've watched the Dropkick Murphys live concert. For anybody who doesn't know, it's got an Irish punk band. And they've been doing a live show from Fenway the last 2 years, which was pretty great, especially during COVID. And they're doing it again this year. So I'm probably going to catch some of that live stream. And I don't know. It falls on a Thursday, so it's a little rough to go have too much fun. But I think there's a Guinness in my future later on.
Hey,
sure.
Cheers to you, Greg. And I kind of loving the green background there. You really got the spirit. You got the shirt on, you got the background. Looks really, really cool, Greg. I feel like I need to match you on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some positivity, because we have a pretty positive day, very green day on the financial markets today. The Dow closed up 364 points today. NASDAQ up also 165 points, and the S&P 500 up 50 points as well. So, I feel like that's where we're going to bring the St. Patty's Day. The market actually brought its green. Stocks jumped for the third straight day today, as you may have seen it. We're really enjoying actually this week's rally. A lot of things actually pretty good. We're actually happy with the financial markets this week. Now, investors continue to watch really closely the news coming from Ukraine, and also the news from the Federal Reserve meeting this week. In fact, yesterday was actually largely seen as positive. So the Fed, as you know, raised interest rates yesterday by 25 basis points. But to give you an idea, the vote wasn't even close. It was actually an 8-1 vote agreeing to the rate hike, with just one person disagreeing with the rate hike, because that one person actually wanted twice as much of a rate hike. They wanted us to go up by 50 basis points, but it did go up by 25 basis points. Now, the Fed is expected to raise the rate once again on May 4th. So May 4th, they're expecting another 25 basis points. And so to give you an idea of what else we're expecting this year, people are saying maybe 6 more interest rates this year. So how quickly the Fed is planning to move is still sort of uncertain, but it's pretty fair to say that if it weren't for the recent Russian invasion of Ukraine, that we would probably have seen a 2 times size of a rate hike that we got, which is we probably would have got a 50 basis point hike here. However, rate hikes usually aren't considered bad events. They're actually considered positive, very good events, especially given the economy is going strong. And so we don't expect that this rate hike is going to cause too many problems here. But I want to touch upon this, and this was a question that I've been seeing a lot, and actually we've been getting a lot of emails and messages about this question, and that is that why is increasing interest rates good for inflation? So I thought I would answer that for you. So as interest rates are reduced, more of us are able to borrow more money, right? We know this, and it's happened throughout the pandemic. The Fed kept interest rates really, really low. That came in the form of, obviously, if you were to refinance your mortgage or getting into a new mortgage, having that low interest rate was a wonderful thing. Maybe you set up a home equity line of credit against your house, or maybe you got a new car or student loan. Then those that usually would benefit you, right? Because of lower interest rate. Now, this should actually result in consumers then having more money because they were to borrow more cheaply to spend, which then causes the economy to grow and inflation to increase. That's kind of how it works. So here's what we know. So typically, interest rates and the rate of inflation have an inverse relationship with one another. So the U.S. Federal Reserve is responsible for sort of being really strategic as it relates to the country's monetary policy, which includes adjusting the Fed funds rate now and then, which influences the interest rates that then banks can charge borrowers, which then may impact the interest that you earn on your savings or checking account balances. So in general, the economy typically grows and inflation rises when interest rates are low. And so in theory, if rates are now going higher, inflation would decrease and the economy was somewhat slowed down too. So that's, in a nutshell, is what to expect. So when you hear about interest rates increasing right now, it shouldn't really be seen as necessarily a bad thing, because it means that our economy is relatively strong. It also means that we're going to mitigate and pull down inflation, right? So having inflation coming down means that you'll probably have a little bit more flexibility in your monthly budget for your household spending. So that's actually a good thing. Now, on that note, hopefully that is helpful. Of course, if you have any other questions regarding inflation, interest rates, can definitely send me a question or put it in direct message. Would love to hear from you, of course, and I want to make sure we get that answered. Hopefully that made a lot of sense. The other thing I want to share with you, Greg, I think this was, I know we talked about this offline, but I thought it was pretty cool. So CNBC also shared an article this week that talked about the trend of really thinking about nature and sustainability for socially conscious travel. And I know you and I were just talking about, you got a trip coming up. I was actually supposed to be out of town this week, just got really busy. Things didn't work out the way I was hoping for. But in fact, 96% of people surveyed recently on this survey that came out from, I think, Kind Travelers, their 2022 report, they said that 96% of travelers said that when they spend money for a vacation, they want that money to positively impact the place that they visit. So really think about sustainability. Was this surprising to you?
The 96% is that's a really, so virtually everyone. I think that's great. That was a little bit surprising, but yeah, that's certainly how I feel when I travel, buy local. And plus that's the fun part of traveling anyway. When I go somewhere is, if you're going to be spending money, spend it on the people who live there, or the different things, the different attractions you can go to while you're there. And plus, to me, that's always a great experience on top of it, no matter what. But yeah, 96%, that is honestly pleasantly surprising, that people want to do that. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I know, Greg, you're a big camper, and I know this is something that's really important to you. This is something really important to my family as well. We love, like you said, going into the area, right? Really looking, exploring nature, investing in our memories during that play, and also buying local. So, buying local produce if we can. Like, one of the things we like to do is see like what the farmers are selling there, right, off the side of the road, and those are really fun things. And you're investing back in that community.
That's such a good point too. Like local farmers and local produce, whatever it is they're selling, no matter where I go, I'm like, all right, what are the locals eating? What are they selling? What are they buying? Like, that's what I want to try, just because you're there too. I mean, it's also part of the experience, but it does help everybody out on top of it. So it's kind of like, it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Yeah. I know. And then, like, for those of you, if you're visiting Southern California, let me just tell you right now is like the best time for avocados and navel oranges. So if anybody's like pulling through in the next few months. There's so much here right now. There's so much fun. But I want to tell you about a recent trip that I took. This was actually a couple weeks ago, but I know, Greg, we've been really busy on the show talking about other topics and, with the tech announcements. But here's what I want to share with you. So I recently went to Big Sur, and you're going to love this. If you've never been to Big Sur, it's near the coast. It's on the coast of California here, somewhere between, it's like kind of central between northern and southern California. It's about 150 miles south of San Francisco and 300 miles north of Los Angeles. Now, this area is called Big Sur, and there's also Carmel Valley, and basically it's just the most beautiful beaches. And if you've ever heard of the Monterey Bay Aquarium, this is close to there too, as well as Hearst Castle is close here. But I want to share this with you because honestly, this was my first trip to this place. This is giving you an idea. If you can't really tell right now because I took this video, Greg, but and I actually took these photos on my iPhone with like no filter, nothing. But it just gives you an idea the pristineness of it and how clean it is. And here you can see otters, you can see sea lions. This was actually the view from where we were staying. So I wanted to give you a tease because I think, Greg, I know you and your girlfriend definitely have to make a visit here one day because it's absolutely beautiful. But it's also close to the Point Lobos State National Reserve, which is a picture that you're seeing right now. You see the water is like literally turquoise. No filter.
That is amazing. I mean, taking a look at just how beautiful that is. And for somebody who loves the outdoors too, I've talked about it plenty, how much I love camping and going outdoors. I want to go there right now. Is what I'm saying.
I know. I mean, I look at these pictures and I want to go back already too. But it's so amazing. And so, this it's such an amazing little park. It's called the Point Lobos State National Reserve. It's literally, you could actually walk to it from the Hyatt hotel that I stayed at, but literally driving, because you don't really want to walk there because it's like going through, you can't actually walk there to the way it's situated. You actually have to drive. But this Point Lobos State Reserve Park, it's really interesting. They only have parking spots for 75 people. So you have to time it right. So you go really early morning, you can park in there. It's really reasonable to park. I think it's like $10 for a regular admission, $9 if you're a senior. And for us, because we have a fourth grader at home, we actually get to go for free because, the state is encouraging fourth graders to go see all the state parks. But this is somewhere that you definitely want to check out. And if you can't get in for the first 75 cars, people literally just park along the street and walk in, which is essentially actually what we decided to do because we felt like it was fine just to walk in. So we walked in, we hiked almost 5 miles. And we stopped at that point because my little ones can't walk that far. But literally scenic and beautiful entire hike, and somewhere that I think you'll want to check out. But let me tell you, this Hyatt hotel was crazy awesome. First of all, talk about sustainability, which I love, right? Full kitchen, jacuzzi, like the pool. And I love how there's heater, of course, but also they give you a full-blown fireplace in the resort and unlimited firewood that they get from the local area. So you just go and pick up your firewood and you stick it in your suite. And so it's just beautiful. And everywhere you go, you can actually roast marshmallows because there's all these fire pits everywhere. Full kitchen. Goodness. I mean, it's somewhere that I literally want to go back to again.
Yeah, that is incredible. I mean, just the views alone already would sell it for me, just to have that kind of view. I love a balcony or even the cliffside there where you can look over into the ocean, but then have all those other amenities too. Unlimited firewood, which that's a good deal. Because that's great. So you always have a fire going, the hot tubs, the pools. That's amazing. That looks like a magical place. How many days did you stay there?
So we stayed there 3 nights. So it was over President's holiday last in February. Yeah. So 3 nights. It was incredible. We drove there because it's not that far. I think it was like 6 hours from where we're at. So it wasn't too bad. But it was like it was one of those trips where like we went to see the monarch butterfly sanctuary, and then we went to see some of the local farmers markets and whatnot. It was just a really relaxing trip. But what I want to tell you about is not only does Hyatt have this resort, which I highly recommend, especially for those of you who have families and want sort of that creature comforts of, be able to cook your own food and whatnot, but Hyatt also has this really cool place that's close by that you would absolutely get a kick out of. And I'm gonna have to figure out a way to send you there, Greg, because they have glamping sites in the middle of like beautiful forest where like they have the tents already set up for you, right? They have like all the beautiful Hyatt cotton sheets and the bedding and everything, and they even have restroom, shower, hot water set up for you. So literally you can pull up and you're in the middle of the most pristine Northern California forest and you can see stars and everything else. And that, Greg, is what you should do. It doesn't really fit us because it can only fit 2 people per glamping tent.
Yeah.
But for you.
Yeah. That sounds, I mean, yeah, that would be an interesting experience. Yeah, to be out there like that I haven't really glamped that much before, so I would be really interested in trying that out.
I know. I
like.
feel like, I mean, I'm not a camping person. I feel like I can embrace this. But like, just imagine, Greg, you wake up in your beautiful tent, right? And they even have this Airstream. Hyatt has an Airstream set up that's ready to cook you breakfast and make you coffee when you wake up.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to turn that down if you're sitting there having the fresh breakfast from an Airstream. That's great, and that's all part of the same thing.
Well, it's similar. I mean, I think Hyatt has like 3 or 4. I'm a big Hyatt fan because I do points and miles for credit cards. So, I mean, obviously, this trip I had it completely covered from earning credit card points from tax season and whatnot, and then covering this type of travel. It's so much fun. But like the glamping I'm talking about is so reasonable. It's like I think it's like $80 and everything's kind of, and the one selling point that you'll love, there's no insects. I don't know how they accomplish this, but I have heard that there's like no insects.
I will say, as somebody, and I love camping, but if there is a bug within 10 miles, it will find me no matter where I am. I am that person that always gets bit by everything. Like summertime, I usually have mosquito bites somewhere on me. It's just how my body works. They love it. So if you're saying there's no bugs, that is a huge extra bonus for me to be able to go there and not have to be covered in my bug spray that I'm pretty much always wearing during the summertime. So
they probably want to be near you, Greg. They're probably sensing that you have knowledge or something, or maybe they just find you sweeter than the average human. So they're like,
just sweet, delicious blood that they want to bite constantly. So yeah. So I'll take no bugs. That's high on my list of
so maybe
that sounds fun.
Do a
that sounds
trip.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
and that's not a bad road trip.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's not too far either for a road trip. I mean, it's a little bit longer, but that sounds like a great trip, going down the coast and then going to Big Sur. Yeah, it's on my list. 100%.
You gotta check it out. I was so surprised. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so cool. Well, thank you for sharing all those pictures too.
No problem.
Speaking of traveling, I do have a little bit of tech that kind of ties into this that I wanted to share though as well. And so this is something that, especially when I was thinking about you going on road trips and with the kids, that maybe I want to get your opinion on this, if this is something you would want them to use or not. And it's not just designed for kids, but it's basically bringing virtual reality into a driving experience. I want to clarify, not for the driver. The driver doesn't wear VR goggles, but the people sitting in the back can, and it's called HoloRide. And so this is something that was debuted at CES in 2019. It's actually a spin-off company from Audi, and then they became their own company. But the idea is you wear VR goggles in the car, but it's not just VR like a standalone headset. It's actually tied into the vehicle itself, the vehicle's infrastructure. So it ties in via a Bluetooth system with the car. And they've got all kinds of different things you can do. It's different. There's games, there's educational experiences. There's even work setups that you can do where you're kind of in a VR work environment. But the way it ties in with the car, I think, is what's really cool, because to help mitigate some of those issues where a lot of people get virtual VR sickness, motion sickness. what happens is when you're driving, when the car speeds up within the game or whatever you're doing, you speed up in that. If the car turns left, the game turns left, turns right. So you mimic those actual movements with the VR to help. And I guess that helps really settle the stomach for a lot of people. And that's what they're going for with this. So tying actually into the car, and they're going to be coming out with this system in June. Like, it's coming soon to a whole bunch of different Audis. Their new lineups are going to be equipped for this. You have to buy the goggles separate, but that's it. And then it can tie in right with that system. So I want to get your opinion to start with this. And I got a little more information on it, but what do you think about this?
Well, first of all, Greg, I think they should have called you to be the model for this technology, because I feel like, you would have given us some really great feedback. I'll tell you,
Yeah.
I think this is interesting, because I'll preface this. It kind of reminds me of like, and Joshua, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Kind of reminds me of Nintendo's like Pokemon Go, where you're sort of having that interaction of a video game while you're moving around. Now, in terms of in the car, I'm good with this. I think I would like to see this technology. I'm sure this technology is going to come to more gaming consoles, right? Besides just being car specific, but I guess it has to be specific to be able to speed up and slow down, like you were talking about, Greg, right? So that you're feeling it better. Yeah, I think that would be okay. I think I'd be okay with that. I mean, my kids definitely, enjoy their iPads on these long road trips, and I think,
Yeah, add something. I mean, because they're already on a device, to add in that side of it. It's kind of the other things, so that they would actually tie into as like education. So it could be, if you're going to a specific area, they have a VR world set up, or augmented reality world, because it could be either or, and have that tied into where you're going. So say if you're on a specific drive, you'll get information about where you're going, or that area, or that something along those lines to kind of tie in. And then also they were looking at it for even going, say like an Uber or a Lyft ride. It's like down the line, this could be something that you could tie in. If you've got like a long ride or a commute, then you're sitting in the back, you could do that, maybe work, but a lot of different ways that they can tie it in. They think it's going to be pretty huge. I mean, VR, augmented reality, XR, as it would be called, is going to be a huge industry going forward. But this in particular, is a pretty unique application of it, with tying it in with the vehicle. And I think that's what I would want to experience the most, is just how that makes it feel.
Yeah.
Turning left, turning right. Even if there's, just all those different things.
Yeah. And especially like you said, in an Uber, I could see that being great, right? Or a taxi ride. But like, I guess, I think I love the technology. I love the excitement of this. I think I'm coming at from a parenting standpoint. It does make me a little sad, because I think we're always telling our kids, put the devices down. We want you to enjoy the ride, right? See what we're driving through, see the water, see the mountains and things like that. So I think it would have to be like, I would love for maybe it could like, maybe on those paths where we're literally going through nowhere, it could say like, this is what's going to happen. These are the places you'll want to check out when you get there, right? You remember like when, like those times maybe when, I don't know, literally we were driving through the desert for hours, and it's just
right. Yeah.
So
those
that
long
balance.
Stretches where there's nothing to look at and nothing to see. Yeah.
Then it's
or you're just stuck in traffic on the 5, and
oh yeah,
you're there for 3 hours.
I guess you can't wear it when you're driving in traffic, though.
Yeah, I know. Drivers out of luck, at least right now.
Maybe they could do that, though, right, Greg? At some point, they can make it like entertaining to be sitting in traffic, and so you would still see your car in front of you.
Yeah.
But then you're like watching a movie and watching your car.
Still have that on. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Well, they did say, another aspect of this as they see it growing is eventually, and there's, I mean, we know this is going to happen. There's going to be autonomous vehicles where there is no driver, where it's just the car doing the driving. And at that point, then everybody would be free to put them on because the car's doing the driving. That still makes me a little nervous, that concept of just closing my eyes and just whatever happens, allowing the vehicle to do all the driving. But that's happening. I mean, and there's certainly some places getting approval right now for even testing those kinds of vehicles out. So they're looking at it like going forward. This is going to be a big part maybe of the driving experience. I agree with you though. If you're going through beautiful nature, you should take it off. You should take that off. There's something cool to look at. But there's maybe some good applications to it.
Agree. Yeah. Maybe it could be like the best of both worlds, like you could sort of see outside still, but then you
Yeah.
could see data. Like you turn and you see a cow, and then the data tells you what kind of cow it is and what does it eat. And
This
like,
is a Holstein cow. Yeah, I would actually wear that. That would be something I would be totally interested in. If I'm
yeah,
getting
right?
like, some nerdy
Educational
education on top of
travel.
it. Yeah. Yeah. This mountaintop was named for, that kind of thing. I'm in for that. That would be cool. But that's something that's going to be coming. So you got the Hollow Ride there for Audi. And again, June, they listed a whole bunch of Audi models that are going to be equipped at first, but it's not just for Audi, even though it's a spinoff. They said any company that has that tech installed, they can add this into it. So it's something that's going to be available for a bunch more going forward. We'll see how it does once it's actually out. So we got that. I've got a couple other things that I just wanted to bring up because there's something that's happening actually right now that has to do with traveling a little bit further, traveling to the moon and around the moon. So there's a big mission that NASA's been working on for many years, the Artemis mission, which is to bring humans back to the moon, to land some humans on the moon, maybe 2025, 26, but even to take them around the moon. And there's a test mission that's going to be coming up. But before you do the test mission, you got to do the test of the test. And that is what's happening today. So there's the Artemis 1. This is the whole mission. And it's part of what's called the Space Launch System. And that is essentially a gigantic rocket that's bigger than the Statue of Liberty. And right now they are rolling it out, starting at, I think, 2 p.m. Pacific today. They started this. They are rolling it out for the first time to the launch pad, and they're going to go through the entire launch sequence just to make sure that everything works right. They're not going to actually launch it yet, but they're getting those tests started. So it's so big. It's rolling on a really specific kind of system that can transport millions of pounds. And they're broadcasting that actually live right now. It's being shown on NASA's feed for this Artemis 1 rocket. But this is a pretty exciting day for space nerds, for space tests, because it means we're getting closer to it. And once they get this test done, maybe May, maybe June, they don't know yet, they're going to send the Orion capsule. And that's kind of what you're seeing here is an example of this. That capsule detaching there would have people in it. So there would be people in that. And this is the new system that would take people around the moon. And the test is going to take this eventually, when there's humans in it, will go further away from Earth than anyone has ever gone before, way around the moon and then back. And the test thing they're going to launch in June without people will do that. It'll go all the way around the moon, come back, land, ideally no problems, but that's why they want to find out what the problems are. And yeah, so that's what's happening today, which it's pretty exciting to see it finally, getting closer and closer to this.
It is finally. And Susie made a point that actually I was going to say too. Did you see? I guess Pete Davidson is going to space next week with Jeff
so
Bezos.
Jealous. He's going to space on the it's Blue Origins. Blue Origin.
I mean, when your girlfriend is Kim Kardashian, I guess you get certain liberties.
You get there's some perks to that. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to go to space for, I don't know if he has to pay for it, if it's free, but we haven't. Susie might know.
Yeah.
Susie's also an Audi Q5 driver, so who knows if she's going to get that technology.
Yeah, I would be curious to know. Yeah, if you're going to be trying that out and testing out the Hollow Ride. So yeah, but it's pretty cool. So this is happening today. They're rolling that out. It's going to take hours and hours. So watching, you can go to NASA's YouTube channel and you could watch part of it, but it's going to move very slowly. But still, we're getting closer. So kind of exciting when it comes to space travel. So it
kind of is exciting.
Yeah, getting a little bit closer to that as more and more people go up. And hopefully I'll be one of them at some point.
Hopefully,
anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll be on. I see Robin joining us too. Robin Stevens, it's great to see you. Curious to see how you feel about going to the moon. And Sadiq, of course, let us know, what are your plans? I think Sadiq is talking about pre-flight tests as well. And I saw Joshua here as well. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
Robin says she'd be game to testing out the Audi tech device for sure. Yeah. If you see the back, look that the model looked like she was really enjoying the experience. So
right. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's something that's it's unique, but I think it could be pretty cool with the Hollow Ride there. So we've got the Hollow Ride, we've got NASA with the Artemis 1 testing that's going on. And the last thing I wanted to bring up, this is just kind of a weird one, but I felt it was worth having a discussion about. And comes from a big international robotics convention that was going on, and it's from Kawasaki. Kawasaki, probably most people know them for motorcycles. Right? But they're also, just like so many companies, experimenting with robotics. And this is what we have right here. That is a robotic ibex, basically a goat, a robotic goat that they have created. And you may be wondering why. And probably a lot of people are. And this is their version of working on some kind of robotic system that can help out both with cargo and with actually humans riding it. And there's some examples of that we've got as well. So this is their system. You know, you have Boston Dynamics working on these things. Honda is, Yamaha, like everybody's working on Hyundai. Everybody is working on different kinds of robotics. And this is their test example. There's something special about this one though, because you may notice that the knees, if you will, are wheels. And so that's why they're saying that this one is a little bit more, can be used in a lot more environments. So when it's on all fours, it always has at least two of its hooves, feet, for lack of a better word, touching the ground. But when it goes onto flat pavement or just flat road, it can convert into wheels and travel a lot faster. So it would have the option of using both, so you can really cross a lot of different kinds of terrain. And that's what they're showing right there. So it could hop on the road and then presumably go faster than that, and zip around and really help out. You think like a construction site or any kind of thing where there's all kinds of rough terrain or transporting hazardous materials. You could have this do it. Now the head is interchangeable. They said you don't have to have the ibex head, but so you,
I was going to ask you about that. Why not a horse?
I don't know. I don't know. What the point there was. Well, I guess it's called the Bex, so maybe that was their play on it.
But it is cute though.
Yeah, they said whoever does order this, once this would come to market, that you'd be able to change out that and put on whatever you want or remove it entirely. But then the other aspect is you can also ride it and drive it yourself, because there are handlebars on there, and somebody could hop on there and take it for a spin. So that's another option that you have with this thing.
How cool would that be? I don't know about you, Greg, but how cool would it have been to have this during college? You would have been the coolest person. Like, okay, yeah, laundry day. You know, I gotcha. I gotta move. Move that parking spot. I gotcha. And I need to move. Lab equipment. Your crazy law books.
Oh yeah, it'd just be the cool person strolling through campus on your robot ibex. Oh, there comes the robot goat guy. Yeah, there he is again.
Looks like that thing you put 2 quarters in and goes around in a circle.
Yeah, right. Pretty much. I mean, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, here she is. She's gonna take that thing for a spin here in a second.
I want to see that thing run.
Yeah, they didn't demonstrate it going much faster than this, so it's kind of a slow trot. I don't know how cushiony that ride is, but that's what they're looking at for just different ideas. And I love seeing this kind of thing because it shows some innovation and just trying things out because they can, with the idea that maybe this will be something we could use, maybe not, maybe just build upon this tech for something else. Oh yes, you can even do some up and down there.
I love Susie's comment. I agree. I was thinking the same thing. This would be great for disabled individuals, right? Who have mobility issues. Like how wonderful. You can lift up and down. You can give them that independence to travel to different places.
For sure. Yeah, you could picture this. I mean, going back to even what we were talking about, say like all those hikes that you were mentioning. Well, if somebody has issues, and has some mobility issues, maybe you would have this at Big Sur and you could go hop on this and they could actually go up and hike up everywhere else everybody else is.
Oh, no, go up the Great Wall of China in that thing. That would be so cool. I mean, yeah. But, let's what I always wonder, okay, so then where would you park something like this? Like, would Costco let you ride this thing?
ride it through Costco.
I gotta get that 10 pounds of whatever.
Just throwing stuff into the back. Yeah.
Cross-sex spider's a robot deer. No cross-sex spider. It's actually a goat.
But I think you can put a deer head on there, so that's interchangeable.
I want a
you can make it a robot head. Deer. That could be something that could happen. I would definitely take this thing for a spin.
Yeah,
for sure.
You'd have to paint it some really cool color.
Yeah, definitely that. But I want to be strolling down the streets of Portland in my robot goat.
Well, it's interesting. My office isn't that far from home, so it'd be really cool to be able to, ride this thing to work.
There goes Winnie on a robot.
I know. Is it a goat? No, I don't know what it is. The question is, do you ride it on the street or ride it on the sidewalk too?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty slow for the street. I feel like some people would get pretty annoyed in traffic. Sorry, I was late. There's this lady on a robot goat that was going so slow.
Should your goat go any fast?
Just honking at it. Yeah.
Where are you parked next to your goat?
Yeah. So there we go. That's something that's in the world that is being worked on right now. I don't believe they've announced when you're going to be able to purchase this, but that's the prototype they're showing. So we'll see what happens. But I like to bring these kind of weird things just to the show, just to bring them up and talk about them. Because
this is a unique one, Greg.
This is a unique one. Yeah,
this is your magic eyeball.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the magic eyeball. Yeah, I can find some strange stuff. So this is the one. This is the one for today.
Yeah, I love this stuff. This is so much more fun than talk about inflation.
Yeah,
I love
start off with inflation and with robot goats.
Yeah, and
you never know what you're getting.
We love having you here too, Susie. You gotta come back every show. Susie's definitely talking about randomly fun, and then Sadiq is saying you got this, and Cross-X Fire is saying he's having fun too. Susie agrees. Susie thinks that Costco needs to get on board on this. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
it's very
absolutely.
serious.
Yeah, I'll get a membership right now if I can ride the robot goat around. Sign me up.
Very cool.
So that's what I got for this week.
How much is it going to cost, though, Greg? Do you know?
I don't think they put out a price tag on it, so I'm guessing it's not going to be cheap. So maybe it's more of a get a few people go in on it kind of thing. A ride share kind of situation. Mm-hmm. Perhaps you can make that work. Yeah. I don't think they put a price on it yet.
That'll be interesting. Go from Kawasaki making motorcycles to making, motorized goats.
Yeah. So, it's a strange evolution, but we live in a weird world.
But you gotta love it, and you gotta love excitement. I mean, it's so interesting. Now they're talking about this Audi. I'm almost think like it's almost like you you didn't have to leave your house, you didn't have to leave your office. Now you don't even need to leave your car.
Right?
Did you try to Big Sur? Yeah, I saw on my VR device. I think you were there.
Yeah, and there's a whole list of the vehicles too. I don't remember how many it was, but it's quite a number of the new models that'll have that in there. So let's see. Yeah, maybe Susie can let us know. And try it out.
Definitely let us know, Susie, if you got this in your, in your Audi. We want to know how you experience it. You get that excited like the model did? Because I'm guessing, Greg would. I think, Greg, you should take the Audi, go to space, come back, and let us know how it goes.
I am all for that. I am 100% down with that.
Say hi to Pete Davidson too.
Dear Audi and NASA, let's see if we can get that done. Or if I have to ask Kim Kardashian, then we'll ask her too.
Yeah,
whoever can get that done.
It's funny. I saw this on social media that I guess Pete had Kim's name branded on his chest, not even tattooed, but an actual brand. I didn't know even. And Ellen goes, yeah. She says to Kim, yeah, you are a brand. And I was like, wow. That's like the new stage of love now.
I guess that's it. If that's what it is, okay, all right. But if that's what I have to do to get a ride to space, I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
Better think carefully about that one.
That's a big decision to make.
That is a big decision.
Yeah, it might have to be more than like the 15 seconds or whatever you get in that. But if I go around the moon, yeah, all right, I'll think about it.
How much pain would that be?
I'm not saying I wouldn't for that trip.
Okay. Well, maybe if you threw in the goat.
Throw in a goat too. Yeah, there we go. That's where we're at. Well, yeah, that's it's always so much fun doing this show and having everybody comment in. I love seeing all the comments come in too that everybody's got. Yeah, that's what I have for this week.
Well, amazing. What a great week. This was a great week. I can't wait to see what you're going to tell us next week, Greg.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We love it. Thank you so much, Susie, for joining. Susie's new to the show. It's so great to have her with us. She's joining us from LinkedIn Live today. So thanks so much for being with us today. We have so much going on, but can I just say that if you haven't checked out, I want to tell you that this week was kind of fun. This week, Greg, we shared the podcast of on Yes Factor. We shared the interview with Anton Shoki, who, as you know, we talked about last time, the interview was done with him directly from the Ukraine. So if you haven't checked that out, would highly recommend, just go to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts, search for Yes Factor Winnie Son. I would really appreciate if you could give us a listen. I think that interview, you just got to hear his tone of his voice and what he says. It will give you chills. It actually got me kind of sad just listening to it, but there's hope in there too. So it's a good one.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, definitely go download that, everybody. I will be too, right after this.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that. And appreciate you so much. And excited to see you again next week. Are we on for next week?
Yeah, I think we're on for next week. Yeah. Sweet. So we'll have some new exciting things going on. There are some more events coming up. So we could have some more new tech announcements next week, but regardless, we'll find something fun to talk about on that side of things. And as usual, too, I want to remind everybody, feel free to write me, DM, whatever, get a hold of me if you find anything really cool that you want to talk about or you think I'd be interested in. I love seeing those things come through. So please feel free to do so. If you have any questions about anything tech related, send it my way. If I don't know the answer, I'll know where to send you. So I can tell you that much, that I can definitely help out that way. So yeah, it's, as always, just so much fun being here with everybody.
So much fun. And thank you so much for your time. Be well, and we will see you again next week. Take care now.
Bye.